Hey coin collectors, Dan the Collecting Man here. Today I'm going to go through this new and very limited coin that's come out of the Perth Mint. It's the 35th anniversary Kookaburra proof half-gram coin, something that we haven't really seen much of in the past. There's been a couple of little half-grammers in the past that I'll go through in a bit of details, but nothing quite like this. So that we're used to seeing these kind of cards when it comes to the kangaroo, and one's very similar to this, and this is kind of an annual thing that comes out, a proof coin, but nothing when it comes to the Kookaburra, and with such a limited mintage on top of that, which I think makes this a little bit more collectible. So this is obviously the half gram 2025 35th anniversary coin with a retail price at the moment $155 and a mintage of only 2,500, and that's the key thing we want to look at here. With a very, very low mintage of this coin, I think this is going to add a lot more collectability, having such a low mintage with such a special coin, and the way the card is designed, I think that's really, really cool. So on the actual Perth Mint's website, it has mentioned there that this is the first button size rendition of the Kookaburra series. So, which is a little bit misleading, if I have to be honest, because there was one in 2014. There was a Perth Mint edition. I'll bring it on the screen. Now, it is slightly different compared to the actual bullion version that was released that year. The key difference being that it doesn't have the background. See here, we've got the tree and all the other stuff. It just has the Kookaburra outline, so it doesn't have all the fine print and detail compared to this one. That had a mintage of 4,241, so it was a little bit higher mintage, but that was the first half gram Kookaburra that I could find out that has been released in the past. Now, that was part of a bit of a series. It was like a mini series. So there was Koala in 2013, the Kookaburra 2014, and the Wedge-tailed Eagle in 2015. So nothing's been like this one before. So I'm going to put this under the microscope in a minute and show you this in detail, just so you can get a really good look. But from a quality standpoint, from a gold proof edition, it really, really pops. So if I compare it to a 10th ounce bullion edition that I've been able to get here, you can see the difference from a quality standpoint. So obviously this is bullion, so it's not going to have that nice proof finish. It does have a nice finish though, but it's more frosted. Where this one, you can really see the light, and the Kookaburra is frosted in this one. But you can see probably the biggest difference here where it comes to King Charles, where here King Charles is more proof like in the middle with frosted around, where this one you can see the proof finish looking around. The notable difference is with this one here, you can see all his hairs and all the details in his face, where on this one here, it's just a frosted kind of image of King Charles. You don't really get that detail compared to this one. So as you can see here also, it's a $2 face value coin. So it's an Australian currency coin of $2. So like this, like the bullion edition, we've got in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got just the round plain circle, where the bigger bullion editions do have the imagery of the very first Kookaburra that came out 35 years ago, which is this one here. So from 1990, this is the actual Kookaburra that you can see in that image there. So you can see the difference there from that one. And back then it was a $5 coin. You can see the quality difference with King Charles compared to the old Queen Elizabeth edition. So you can see the absolute difference there. I've also got one of these in the Platinum edition, and then I got the World Money Fair. So the one I'm kind of missing out on at the moment, there is a 10 ounce edition one that I'll probably get potentially next month, because I've never got a 10 ounce coin before. I've got 1 kilo ones, but I've never got a 10 ounce one, and I thought having the 35th anniversary edition is a nice tie-in. But this is the very first kind of Kookaburra that they've done like this. So there has been some other half gram Kookaburras. So you see the Royal Australian Mint did one very similar to this, and it was part of this series here that I've got over here, where I got the very first one, which was the Koala. So the mini Koala series, this came out in 2021. So in 2022 they did the Kookaburra at only a mintage of 5,000, so a very low mintage. Came in this little capsule. Unfortunately, it doesn't really pop out as much, but they did do a couple of years where they did the half gram ones, but had a very high premium on them over time. But also there is another 2025 Kookaburra 35th anniversary, which was a little bit odd for me when I saw that doing the research on this one. So Fiji have actually made a 35th anniversary edition, and it looks slightly different. I'll show you the image here. It obviously comes up very different. And they've got a mintage of 5,000 on those ones as well. So obviously it's not the proof edition, it's kind of like a bullion rendition. It's very odd why they've done their own edition. Obviously it's in Fiji currency on top of that as well. I'm not sure if Perth Mint have actually released that or if this is specific to Perth Mint, but I think overall this one is the one you want to get, with a mintage of 2,500 being an exact replica of all the other editions. And that's also come out very late in the piece. So the Kookaburra normally comes out in around November. So we're now in August and we're only getting this edition. So we're only a few months away where we're actually going to start to see the 2026 Kookaburra coming out. So it's a bit surprising that they've waited so long to release this edition. And it's kind of snuck out. Not many people seem to be aware of this half-gram edition from the Perth Mint and that it's out there released. So I'm not sure what it's going to be like from a collectible point of view once the word gets out and people are more aware of it, but it's kind of been snuck away. And I'll give you an example. This is the book that the Perth Mint always send out every month. And you see the key highlights. This is the first one that got sold out straight away. Again, the Brumby that got sold out straight away. All these ones, there's definitely a lot of good releases this month. We've got the Koala and some other special editions. But there we've got the Kookaburra, and we've got it just down here. You can see this little blurb down here. Another one that was very collectible that sold out on the day was this pizza one. That's really cool. The box, that's absolutely amazing. So I've done a video on that one already because that's going to be a really cool collectible coin from a collecting standpoint. So I'd love to know, is it something you like to collect? So from a bullion perspective, it's not something you'd be really looking after. So it's $85 worth of gold and $155 coin. So you're gonna have to wait a long time from a bullion point of view. But I think from a collector's point of view, with a low mintage, I think you might be looking at that compared to these ones here. If you look at all these other ones, and I've stopped buying these, I bought them at the time, but I've realized that these aren't really good value because of the high mintages of these. They're unlimited mintage, and I don't think many people are looking after getting these ones. So it's kind of cool to get some Queen and King ones here, but I'm not going to be getting any more half-gram coins unless there's something a little bit more collectible. So I think given that this is kind of the first in some respect, because it's a replica of the current bullion, I think this one might be more collectible. And it'll be interesting to see if they're going to do this on an annual basis, and this will be the first one of that series. And normally the first does have a lot more collectability because people do try and go back in the series to try and get the first one. So love to know what your feedback is and what you think about it as well. So let's have a look at it under the microscope and see it in a bit of detail. So I'm probably going to have to change the focus on this one on top of it as well, because it is an absolute small coin with a lot of detail. First got to find it. There we go. So hopefully you can see that okay, but already from a quality standpoint, you can see the little P mark there on the left, 2025 half gram 4/9 fine gold, and just that proof-like finish. There's almost no imperfections. It looks like there might be something there, but I'm not sure what that is exactly there. But overall, from a finish standpoint, it looks absolutely spot on. And then if we flip it over, look at King Charles, I'll show you the detail here. So I've got Australia, you can see again that quality and how good that looks, but you can see King Charles, how there's not much detail when it comes to him himself compared to the other coins. Obviously being so small, it doesn't really matter, but $2 coin there. But from a proof finish point of view, you can see this is absolutely outstanding and it looks absolutely fantastic. So really well done for the Perth Mint. Again, they've done something that's absolutely exceptional, as we've got used to. So I think it's something really unique, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this coin goes from a collectible point of view. So hopefully you found this informative and you're now aware of this coin. Make sure you do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Dan the Collecting Man to stay up to date. I've got a really cool release of videos coming out in the next month. And as always, thanks so much for watching and joining the coin collecting community. I'll catch you in my next video. Dan.